Oh, hey. How long have you been standing there? I know, I wasn't here last week. It's the summer, you know. I went on vacation and I didn't tell anybody. I just, you know, it happens. So hot out. Okay, well, I'm glad you're out here. Did you see behind you the new project? Super interesting. I guess we can go over and look at it together. I just went in to grab the keys and then I came out and suddenly you were there. It's like magic. Yeah, I've got an appointment to get air conditioning in the shop next week, maybe the week after, because my productivity is down, or at least my energy is. I don't know, maybe I'm still getting the same small amount done as usual. All right, well, why don't we listen to some completely unnecessary music? And yep, that's familiar. And you know, cue the intro, and then I'll meet you over here by the car. You know, I'm sure you got to get yourself a beverage or something. So it's good to see you. Yeah, missed having you around. Well, what we have here is a 1977, well, I was going to say Eldorado because I had Eldorado on my mind for a reason, but no, it's an Oldsmobile Toronado. You know, you can tell kind of the era because of the big bumpers and the edginess, but this car is actually pretty well, you know, appointed. Is that the way to say it? It's appointed. It's white with red pinstriping, and it's got red interior. It's front wheel drive. That's the party trick on this one. It's got a sunroof. I don't know. Let's just walk around the car a minute and kind of take a peek at it. It's here. Well, we can go into why it's here later, but the first thing I have to do after we look at it is put some, you know, transmission fluid in it. I think that's probably necessary. So anyway, walk around this thing with me. It's just super interesting. I bet you haven't seen one either before or in many years, or at least this week you haven't seen one. So, all right, sorry about the wind. I don't have my dead cat, if you know what that means. It doesn't actually mean a dead cat, but well, let's pop the hood first, and I guess we'll look at the interior just briefly because I got to go find the hood popper. Aren't these door handles just the best? My 73 Riviera, I think, had the same door handles. Yeah, it's a Buick. Anyway, here's the hood lever. Look at this red interior. Look at this velour. Oh my goodness. This is like velour for days. Check this out. Wow. Toronado. It's the clock there, looks like. We got the AM, FM. Rear defog. This car has 90,000 original miles on it. I mean, that's something else. You can kind of tell. I mean, just because of the lack of wear. Look at these side bolsters, just amazing. Okay. Even a sunroof, which is covered right now. You know, pretty amazing. I don't have any, you know, a lot of guys would be like, well, there were 3,000 of these made in 1977. This is one of 35 that was in this paint color with the paint codes and the engine and the wheels and the, nope. I don't know any of that. don't care, actually. If you're that guy, I'm glad, because we need those guys. I like those guys. If I know one of those guys, I don't have to be one myself. So one of the cool things, and the owner pointed this out to me, he actually in the area is part of the Oldsmobile Club. So with a certain package, not every 77 Toronado, but I believe it was the XS package, you get this one piece rear window. I mean, check that out. It's just something else. You got the raised turn signals up there. That was unique. The back looks very Cadillac-ish, but of course we don't have any lights on the side. Instead, we do the lights up there. So this Toronado and the Eldorado, which of course was a two-door Cadillac, same platform. So, you know, there's that. I'm just, you feast your eyes on it. That's all I'm saying. Just do some feasting. Okay, let's open the hood and take a peek. Oh man, this hood. Look at this, Toronado, front drive. Couple things. So check out the profile of this. You've got the engine. Now normally you'd open a hood like this and this engine would be sitting back up against the firewall. But since this is a front wheel drive, they've got the engine tucked right up here. Well, actually, directly in line with the axles. It's just very interesting. Looks like it's been converted to HEI. He said his fans weren't working. This is, of course, an aftermarket radiator. That is huge, by the way. So we're gonna crawl under it, though I'm just eyeballing, and that they're not connected. So I don't know if they're not working because they're not connected, or if they're not connected because they weren't working. We're gonna find that out. That's kind of the main issue. We're just gonna check some things. There's a little corrosion there, which this is of course what gets these to work. This is the switch. Maybe there's some corrosion that's preventing them from turning on. Check that out. He did mention he wanted to see if I could source another one of these. So you can see it's well, you know, seen better days. Interesting. Yeah. On this side, you can get a better look at the back end. I mean, this is wild. This is just wild. I love weird things like this, and this is one of the weirder things that came out of Detroit back in the day. Okay, well, it should start and run, he said. I'm noticing there's no nut on the top of this, but it's clean. So we'll just, well, hell, see, what in the world, okay? What, how on earth? We'll just straighten that up. Okay, it's fine. All right, so, yeah, I'm just soaking it in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go first before I go to start it. I'm gonna go get some transmission fluid. Where is the fill? Am I looking at it? Are you yelling at me? You're like, hey, it's right there in front of your nose. Except it's not, because I don't see it. Maybe it's on the other side where the Engine dipstick is, oh yeah, well, I'm looking at it. There's two of them. This would be the transmission. Let's just take a look at the levels. Yeah, I mean, it's not running right now, but I would say it's on the bottom end. So we're gonna just add some. Before we shift it, we don't wanna burn anything up. Hopefully it hasn't already been burned up. And go from there. Okay, you just hang out. It is just like 1,000,000 degrees outside. And that's not hyperbole, it's actually 1,000,000. Okay, felt temperature. I don't mean actual temperature, that'd be silly. Okay, be right back. A little known fact, I don't really like heat. Yeah, I mean, it's little known if you've never been around me. If you've been around me, it's pretty well known. I'm not a big heat guy. I used to live in Texas. Actually, I lived there for about 18 years. Yes, that is where I got the hat, but it has nothing to do with Texas. I actually discovered flies when you're outside. They don't like to be up under the brim, and also it keeps the sun off your neck, you know, and the rain off your head. So it's just it's a good tool for people who wear hats. Anyway, I'm just gonna let this. I'm just renewing the transmission because I figure if it's low, it probably could stand for some renewal. So I'm just putting in some of this Lucas transmission fix. I'm fixing the transmission, like just talking to you, just casually, just fixing. You can't tell probably, but that's what I'm doing. So as soon as this molasses goes down in there, we'll fire it up and move it into the shop, you know, where it's 10 degrees cooler. It is cooler in there. I think it's only 80 degrees in there, but I got fans and it's fine. It's better than being in the sun. So, all right, well, hang out a minute and we'll get this car started. All right, just cleaning up my Valdez. Really wasn't that bad, but you know, that molasses just kind of dribbles everywhere, you know. Okay, it's not really going to be helpful. Right. All right, well, we'll check it again later. Let's see if it cranks up. Yeah, it's hot in here. Holy buckets. Well, starts up good. Ooh, it's got a tilt wheel. Nice. This is the brakes on, but it's not. Okay. Also says it's hot. But we know that's not true. I'm not saying it didn't get hot, but it smells rich. All right, let's put it into drive. Oh, went into drive, that's good. See if the window works. Ooh, look at that. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Oh, it's hot in here. You gotta step out of an Eldorado. See, I did it again. I am so sorry. You're a Toronado. You gotta step out of a Toronado with a hat on. Okay. All right. And of course, I walked all the way over here. Okay. And I didn't get my flashlight. But I do have a fan on me, as you can tell, and it's probably really loud. So I apologize for that. Let me get a flashlight in here and plug these fans back in. And then I'll test them, make sure they're even coming on. I'll clean those terminals that we looked at earlier. And probably should check the oil too, considering the transmission was low. Yeah. Okay, interesting. So there's a bulkhead fitting for power, and I'm assuming that comes from the starter. Right, and they just hooked them into it to bring power to their two relays. I'm about to sneeze. Thank you. And then the red ones should go down to there, and then they should just be grounded somewhere down by the frame over there. And then, let's see, looks like we have a white and a gray. Actually, the two grays. Oh, what's the white one? Why is there an extra one? What's happening? Oh, that's a ground. Ground. Oh, I see. Oh, the third relay is for the air conditioning. So when the air conditioning kicks on, it will also kick on the fans. So what's the white one? Huh. Let me stew on this a minute. I'm assuming these fans worked when they were first put in, but I got to figure out why they did the wiring that they did. See if it makes sense to me. You know, there's lots of ways to go about a thing, you know. It's just because I do it one way doesn't mean it's the right way. Just because I do it my way doesn't mean I did it right. But, you know, I gotta just study for a second, and then I'll dive in and do some testing. The ground down on the frame was very rusty, kind of corroded. So I took it off, cleaned up the metal, put a new piece of hardware in there, and then the corroded up here by the switch, I just took it off, cleaned it, and put it back on again. So I should be getting good grounds to be able to diagnose if there's any other issues. So what I'm going to do, I think, is turn the key on, and I should be able to ground out this switch to something, and the fans should come on. So let's try it. Let's see what I guess we can wire. All right, let's see if it comes on with the key on. You can hear the relay click. Okie dokie. Flies off. Which relay was clicking actually? Let's find that out. Okay, so the big ones are clicking. Alright. They're clicking, but maybe needs to be running. I'm not sure how these are wired in, so let's just do that. Turn the AC on. They are not coming on. I'm going to take this off of here. Well, relays are clicking. I guess I just need to test for power. I mean, I'm looking. I can actually see where the wires go. Test that power there. Looks like I never flashlight. So they've got, well, come in here, I'll show you. So if you look here, this yellow wire is your power wire. That comes in off of that post right there, which I can see is fed probably from the starter, which is fed from the battery. So I'll test that for power. But these yellow ones run all the way back to the relay. On the other side is the red ones that go to the fan. And then the fan is grounded down there. The relay is switched by these gray wires that are switched when this heats up to a certain point, it creates a ground. So this is your ground, and then this is your power to the relay, so that when this is grounded out, this power will flip the switch, and then we'll get power to the fans. I can feel them clicking, but of course nothing's happening. So when I trace these orange wires, which are powered to the from the car, they're actually wired into the distributor, you know, the battery side. They're right here. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't have done that, but why not? I'm looking at some fuses down here. I just noticed them. So actually I'll check those fuses first. If I ground that out and it clicks the relay, but there's no power going to the relay to go through, well, the fans won't come on. Those fuses are a likely source. So let me check it out, see what we got. I got some light down here. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Check this out. Can you see that? I don't even know if you can see that. Hang on. Careful. I'm gonna say we had some sort of catastrophic meltdown. I don't know that I've ever, holy crap, on both of them. Okay. Well, I think we found the problem. Well, not really. We found the effect. I don't know yet what the cause was, but those things fused, so to speak. I'm gonna have to put new fusible links in there, and then test why they both, like, clearly when the relay hit and the power went through, the fuses melted. So there's a short somewhere. Just my guess, I don't know, flip a coin, just spitball. I think it's a short. So, but it's a common short because they both went, not just one of them. So let's see if we can find this common short after I swap out these fusible links. Okay, well, got updates. There's a dead cat on me, if you were wondering. So, I was fiddle farting around with it. Got the new fuse holders in there, fusible links. Actually, I think I need to drop the fuses in there. I've got 40 amps in there now, but since there's one fuse and one relay per fan, I think probably I could drop that to a 25, because normally it's like a total 40 amp draw. So I think like 225s will probably be better and also prevent that meltdown from happening, because those fuse holders, I don't even know what was in there, but the fuses didn't pop. Because well, in my estimation, the resistance, they maybe were a 40 amp. I don't know what they were, probably a 40 amp. They heated up real bad and melted, melted everything instead of just popping. So we're gonna, don't let me forget to do that. I think there's 40 amps in there now, but we'll switch it to 25s. I was testing it with the old relays, and something just wasn't happy. So what I did was I put new relays in. This one I just put in by default. It was probably okay, but these two are new relays. And testing the circuit with the new relays, the fan comes on, or it came on during testing. So now that I have it wired up, I am going to I'm going to turn the key on and jump to ground again like we did before when we heard these relays clicking, but they weren't sending any power. Let me get my magnet test leads. And I'll hook this up. Well, let me pull it out. Excuse me. Boy, that was rude. What are you looking at over there? Anyway. All right, so we'll hook this to here. So we're gonna simulate this switch being hot, and also this relay working. We could actually test this relay too, but to start with, we'll do this. And then we're going to put the ground on here. So when I turn the key on, hello, you gonna work here for me? What's going on? I don't know. Maybe this little thing is, there we go. Well, it's just not quite big enough jaws here. The jaws of life. Let's, there we go. Let's suck it on there. Okay. It's all on there. So when I turn the key on, if those relays are working, this fan should come on because I have constant power to this yellow. These are plugged into the fans, I think. Yeah, they're both plugged into the fans. Just wires hanging down there. Pay no attention to that. We'll fix that later. The fans are grounded. And yeah, then when I turn the key on, it should excite this wire, which if this other wire is grounded, which it is, turning the key on should turn the fans on. You know, that's the math. Or we melt down the car. I don't know. We're gonna see. So why don't you wait over here, see if the fans kick on, and you can yell at me if you see smoke. So that'd be helpful. One of the few times. So, all right. All right, here we go. I'd say that's a win. Let's see if these are hot. No, everything's nice and cool. Okay. There's no heat in there. Let's try it again and I'll feel them. No, they feel good. So, that tells me that the issue was the relays. The relays went bad and overtaxed the circuit and melted the fuses. So, cool. Well, there you go. I'm gonna slip some lower amperage fuses in there, and then clean up my mess. I need to zip tie all of this stuff. I need to put this stuff back in some loom. This little section that it went behind the battery was not in loom, and I am going to loom that since that's power. Yeah, and we'll just clean up. Now we can, I don't know if I told you, I did order this too, this little hose. Now we can run the car. The whole point here is, yeah, looks good. To be able to drive the car up and down the road. Whoops. Stop. Whoop. I don't know what's happening. Do not open when hot. Okay. Good advice. Oh, come on. Well, what is happening? Okay. I can't do it with two hands. I got to get another twist out of it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I got to clamp this back on. Then we can take it out on the highway. We're got to check the brakes, and it seems to be running rich, but we can maybe check into that as well. So, yeah. Hang tight. Let me clean up my mess, and then we'll go for a ride and see what happens. Let's take this beauty for a test drive. Oh. And see if the yeah, see how it runs. So a further part of the story, just to catch up, is 12 years ago was when that aluminum radiator and those electric fans and relays were put in. No, 14 years ago. They lasted for 12 years, and 2 years ago they quit working on them. So he kind of parked it up. So that makes perfect sense that the relays are bad. It's a long time for a relay. It's being run a lot. You know, so actually that makes more sense to me. So since the car has been kind of sitting up for 2 years a little bit, I need to get it out on the road and drive it and just see that it's operating properly, that things are working the way they should, and if there's anything else we need to address. It seemed like it was running rich, but on the other hand, it's got 2-year-old gas in it. So I don't even know how much gas it has in it. Like a quarter tank. Huh. So, like, it starts and runs really well, but I can see the smoke. And also there's a light on the dash that says hot. And it's not, because we just started it. So there may be a temp sender here that we need to look at replacing as well. I kind of want to dump some gas in it. I have some. There's a little bit in here just to dilute the bad gas. I feel like, yeah, I was all set to go. But I think I'm going to dump some gas in it, and then we'll come back and drive it. I feel like I'm not getting a good reading with the 2-year-old gas in there. So you just have a seat, and I'll be right back. Okay. Thanks for your patience. Just had to put the gas in there with the additive. Now, what I didn't do is replace the temp sender switch because, well, it won't be here till tomorrow. It's not an off-the-shelf item. I kind of thought it might be, but it's getting less and less these days with these older cars, that even the good places, they can get it. It's in the warehouse, but it's not nearby, you know, I mean, it'll be the next day. So that's fine. We will handle that. Let's crank this up, see how this goes. Oh, hi-ya! Okay. I don't know what happened there. You were with me and then you weren't with me. But basically, let me turn this fan on. Basically, what I discovered was the brakes were a little spongy. So I'm going to check the brake fluid. Drove really good. Runs smooth for the most part when you're driving. You can see it idles smooth now. I'm still waiting for the fans to kick on. But when I turned the AC on, they did kick on. So yeah, we got a little smoke, but that's not, I think that's just oil burning off. Let me get my let me turn the air on just to double check it. No, they're not coming on. What's happening? Well, I don't know. They were working. Well, they're not kicking on. They're supposed to kick on with the air on, so I'm gonna have to check on that, see what the deal is. I'm gonna put my temp gun on this, make sure it's not overheating, and go from there. Okay, blowing fuses. So I'm running 40 amp relays, so I'm going to run 40 amp fuses. The 25s just were not enough for for the initial hit. You know, the draw that the fans, these are 14-year-old fans, and I guarantee you that the draw on those fans, the amperage draw, is significant. So they're still working, so let's just stick with the 40s. All right, I am going to check my fluid here. Can't see down in that one. Let me get my light. Oh my. There is nothing in there. So that should be the rear brakes. So I'm guessing I have got a bad wheel cylinder back there or a leak in the line or something. I'm going to top that back off, and yeah, I think using the pedal a few times probably pushed whatever was left in there out. So anyway, let me work on that. I'm going to monitor this motor for a while, see how it does, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay. All right, so the fans are working now. Fuse was the issue. I don't know if you could hear me. The brake master was low. I believe on the rear. I filled it up and I pumped the brakes, put some pressure in them. Normally, I feel like I would see fluid, you know, coming down inside of one of the tires, and I'm not seeing that. I did add another 1.5 quarts to the transmission to get it up, so really it was 2.5 quarts low. Okay, see, the pedal feels a lot better. It's way up toward the top now. Fluid just doesn't disappear. It doesn't evaporate. Brake fluid doesn't. It went somewhere. I'm just not seeing anything on the ground anywhere. So we'll look a little bit more. I just wanted to give another drive now that the fans are working. Let's put on max AC. Get some AC going, see how that feels. The car runs very smoothly. Like, it has that kind of rough idle and smoking at the start. On the other hand, it hasn't run for a while. So, but just idling, just in the shop, flipping the throttle, silky smooth. I'm going to get it up to highway speed here and kind of get a feel for it. Get that transmission to shift down, and it was pretty low. I really should put it up on the lift. I've got that other car on the lift right now, so it's kind of full, but if the guy, I don't think the guy's in a hurry for it. I may just set this aside for a little bit until I get. Okay, so the air is cool. It's not cold. Until I get, well, the temp sender changed and be able to get it on the lift and just look for some sort of brake issue. Like, the brakes work good now. Now they feel fine. I'm gonna get out on the highway here and see what it feels like. Oh, there's a deer crossing the road. Oh, another one. Oh, we got some more. Watch out. They don't look both ways when they run across the road. We don't need to have a, you know, deer horn hood ornament. All right, I'm going 50. I'm gonna kick down. It pulls good. Like, I would just drive this car. If I can't find the brake leak, I would just keep an eye on it and, you know, when it gets worse, just keep filling it. When it gets to the point where you can see it, then fix the broken thing. But yeah, if I can move things around the shop in the next week or so, I'll get it up on the lift, take a peek around, see what I can see. But right now, this car's cherry. Turn signals work, unlike in the Buick. I can smell burning oil. That's kind of normal for old cars with original-ish engines. I'm assuming the 90,000 miles this engine has on it is as many as it has on it. Probably hasn't been rebuilt or anything. Oh, look, an eagle. Or a hawk. I think it's a hawk. He's admiring the, you know, the Toronado cruising down the highway. He's admiring the long hood, you know. Beautiful lines. We'll get that light off the dash tomorrow. And if I don't find the leak, I'll just tell him about it, and he can bring it back when it shows up. Yeah, this car just needs to be driven. It just needs to be driven. Best day at work ever. Okay. I don't know why you're standing way over there. Okay, it makes sense now. It's just so dang hot, okay? That's all I'm saying. Hey, on the good news front, I was just swatting flies. You can see up on the wall way over there, it's my new AC unit. They just installed it this morning. So kind of where I'm leaving the Toronado, this fly is flying around me, and I'm going to lose it. I'm holding it together barely, mainly because I threw out my back this morning as well. That's why I'm standing funny. It's just been a day. I think we're gonna, because of all of what's transpiring, flies and everything, I think we're gonna just put a pin in this episode. Basically the thing that is not resolved on the car is that hot light. Well, I did a little deep dive research, and 77, 78, GM created this ignition control system they called MISAR, M-I-S-A-R. Nobody knows anything about it, okay? If nobody knows anything about what's in Ford's ignition box thing, what magic is happening there and why it keeps failing, like even fewer people know anything about the MISAR system. So apparently when it goes bad, you just change it over to HEI, but also the hot light on the dash is controlled by that box, and there's no simple like temp sender that you can just, I guess, put a gauge in it is what I would do if it were my car. So that may happen later down the road, but for now, the car starts and idles a little rough when it's cold, but when it warms up, it seems very happy. It drives really good. So I think what I'm going to do is have the owner come pick the car up, run a few tanks of gas through it, just get it on the road. The brakes are working, the electric fans are working, and kind of see what happens, see if it comes around. If not, I didn't observe any like bad like vacuum lines and whatnot. I think it might be running just a little rich, but let them get it out on the road a little bit and blow 2 years of cobwebs out of it, and then we can kind of bring it back when we have a baseline of performance. It's so hard when these things sit for so long. You can start chasing repairs that really are just related to have it just sat, you know? So run some cleaner through the carb, run some barium through the gas, you know, get the engine up to temp, you know? It just needs to be driven. So I'm sure we'll see it back, but for now, we're gonna call it good. And I'm gonna go to the chiropractor. That's where I'm going. So the guy that installed my AC, he's 10 years younger than I am, and he's had 3 back surgeries. I'm not doing that. No back surgeries. Let's just go to the chiropractor and drink a bunch of water. It seems to be working for me. So I don't know. I think probably this you don't need to know this. This hot weather, I'm sweating a lot and I can't keep enough water in me, and my, you know, the little fluid between my vertebrae, it depletes, and then my back goes out. So now that I have air conditioning, I'll be happy as a clam. So, and my back will too. All right, well, thanks for coming back around. I missed you last week, but it's just kind of the way it goes. I'm gonna close this out with a little footage from a couple days ago. I went to Street Rod Nationals, just took some pictures of cars. I took Mr. F, the Cobra. It was just a fun time, kind of sensory overload time. But let's just cue the music. There we go. You know, Street Machine National style music. Enjoy these few pictures, and I hope we'll see you next week. Talk to you later.